Hello and welcome to Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital. In this video I'm going to address the point of who is going to pay for the damages once this war is over. Now, in the past we have seen that countries have clubbed together to help pay for damages which have been done. At the end of the Second World War there was a Marshall Plan which largely used money from the United States to pay, and any country could apply for it. Those that had been occupied by the Soviet Union declined it, and indeed this was used by propaganda by the Kremlin for years later, to saying that the Marshall Plan was somehow aimed at the Soviet Union. Rather strange, they're still using the same thing today when talking about NATO. As far as Ukraine is concerned, those that done the damage should clearly have to pay for it. But given the chance of Ukraine completely defeating Russia, I don't think that's likely to happen. I mean, I would like to think that Ukraine could get completely liberated, and that Russia would be forced to, and Russia itself would be liberated, but Russia would then have to pay compensation for the damage done. Now, one thing that's come forward is an idea that the oligarchs should pay for it. I find this rather hard, but let's have a look at some of the numbers. Now, I estimated, and I could be completely, this is really very much a back of the envelope job, but the war was costing 20 billion euros a day. And now, obviously, not all that's Ukrainian, because some of that is armaments being used by Russia, but all the same. Now, if that is correct, and I don't know. Now, the oligarchs, Putin is probably, we don't know exactly. We don't know exactly. I'm not a clue, but he has stolen something like 200 billion euros from the Russian people, and in the amount of money that's been expropriated, stolen's probably not the right word, but expropriated by the oligarchs, including Putin, is approximately 1.2 trillion. Now, if a simple back of the envelope would suggest that, yes, well, if you expropriated all of that, that might well pay for all the damage done to Ukraine. It might. But the fact of the matter is, it's going to be very difficult to get a hold of all that money. You know, just getting a hold of Chelsea Football Club, well, that would be something, but it won't go to repairing many bridges, for example. It won't go towards, it's not a lot of money in comparison to everything. Now, one way which could have been done for reparations would be, for example, to use gas and oil and gas exports, and for the money to be paid directly to Ukraine for that. I mean, that's the sort of thing I would think was more logical for some to be agreed upon, and then for it to happen in that way. Germany continues to pay reparations for World War II in one way or another. A lot of it is now voluntary. But Germany is continuing to do this. How long would Russia have to pay these reparations for? Well, I would suggest until all the damage was made good. Obviously, can't bring back the lives of those who are dead. Can't make up for all the trauma, because paying for the costs of people's trauma treatment won't make good the losses that they had. Making up people's medical, people who've lost limbs or what sight or whatever because of it, that won't come back. So it's all it's very difficult to say. Now, the idea it came from of making the oligarchs pay came from a Ukrainian MP, but I appreciate I appreciate what he's saying. But I also see legal problems with it as well. This 1.2 trillion isn't all held in United Kingdom and the United States, where it might be got a hold of. It's held in offshore islands such as the Cayman Islands, or places that we don't care. Furthermore, some of this money is still in Russia even. I mean, Putin's palace is in Sochi. It's not, and that will not be seized. So, what can I say? I don't think that this is a solution for everything, although using the money that was expropriated from Russia by these oligarchs, it would be a beginning. Right, so what I want you to do now is to, in below, if you've got any ideas of where this cash could come from, then write it down below. Obviously the war's not over yet, or maybe I'm thinking ahead of myself, but who knows? Ukraine yet might win the war, and Russia might yet have to pay. Thanks very much for watching, and all the best for me here in Kyiv.